Today we're going to make a healthy New York deli tuna salad. It's also known as veggie tuna salad. Here are the ingredients. Let's make it right now. Okay, so we're gonna go over the ingredients quickly. I made New York deli tuna salad last year, the traditional one. That video did amazingly well. Even to this day, it's still one of the best performing videos on this show. It's always up there. We always get comments every day about it. I think a lot of people are fascinated of these deli salads, like New York City, New York Metro deli salads. All delis basically do everything the same. They all learn from each other. I guess they have like this deli, round table, or whatever, but it's essentially the same. They all use chunk white, okay, or just albacore, I guess if it's a fancy deli. They squeeze the water out of it, ton of water out of it. Almost no delis are using fancy, yellowfin tuna in oil, but for this recipe, because we're making a healthy one, you definitely can. I'm using 3 cans of this albacore for this recipe. These are about 5 ounces each. Okay, but use either one you like. For the vegetables, because this is a veggie tuna, we have a 1/2 cup of green onion that I sliced, okay, like so. 3/4 cup of red bell pepper. That was about maybe 3/4 of a large red bell pepper, so I finely diced it. We're only gonna need about 3/4 cup of red cabbage, so it's gonna just be a tiny bit of that. We're gonna grate it. We're gonna do the same thing with the carrot, so 3/4 cup grated carrot. 1 teaspoon of celery seed, 2 teaspoons of low sodium soy sauce. Okay, that's gonna boost the flavor. It's gonna help it taste better. And then for these 2 ingredients, I have 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. That's 5% fat, but you can use no fat if you like. And then I have 1/2 cup of light mayo. So I worked in a few delis as a kid when I was a youngster, and each one had a healthy tuna salad, and they all did it a little differently. One place actually just did balsamic vinegar. They had no mayo in there. It was nice, and they did it with a ton of vegetables, but most of the places still will use a light mayo. Regular deli salads are always mixed with heavy mayo, really thick, heavy mayo, high-calorie mayo. Helps all the salads come together. The trick to making all of these salads better, and that includes this one, is you have to put it in the refrigerator overnight. You do, okay? All delis, they always work the same. Everything gets wrapped at the end of the night. Everything gets taken out in the morning. Okay, person decides, is this one good? Can I keep it? Yes, it's still good. And then it gets remixed. And then everything looks perfect in the deli counter for you to come and buy every day. All right, let's make this one right now. All right, so I'll show you the carrots. Now, because it's appearance, I would start off by peeling these, okay? And if you can, just do yourself a favor and get one big thick carrot. We bought a bag of carrots, and last few times, it comes with just tiny carrots in there. So look through the bag, or if your place sells them loosely, yeah, just get a big one. 3 carrots, we need 3/4 cup grated. Now listen, these numbers are not like set in stone. If you want a lot more vegetables in your tuna, I mean, God, you could do 3 times the amount of vegetables. So you're still getting the protein from the tuna, but you're getting a ton more vegetables in it. I'm just gonna cut off the ends here of these carrots, like so. And then I like this hole right here. Okay, this hole is perfect. It will give you small enough, but it won't take forever to do it. Now listen, if you want to break out the food processor here for all this stuff, do it, okay? I only use a food processor when I have to in these videos. I do that for everything. KitchenAid, like that thing that sits in back here, I only use it when I have to. I don't think have I ever made a video with a KitchenAid using it? It just disenfranchises too many people. It's a $500, $400 piece of equipment. A lot of people are never going to buy one.
But here's the thing. So I've seen a lot of comments on our website for the pizza recipes specifically from elderly folks.
Yeah.
Like people who say they're 80 years old, they can't sit there and knead. They just,
yep.
They really want to use their KitchenAid. So we do have the instructions on how to make a pizza dough.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you instructions to how to knead with one of these things. Throw it in there, put it on 2, get it mixed, turn it on to level 4, let it go for 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, there's there's not really any instructions to it. That thing will just do faster than what even a strong person can do with their hands. You'll tire out.
Yeah, but that's who I think is asking for the KitchenAid instructions.
Yeah.
I've seen people say like they have arthritis in their hands, they just can't knead. So like they really need it for that.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's about 3/4 cup of carrots. I'm just gonna peel, buy 1 red cabbage like so, and just peel off the outer edge of the cabbage. You just need so little of this. This is probably too much. So I'm just gonna cut off a little bit on the side here. Okay, same thing again. You can use that one. You could go even smaller, but it's easy just to do like that. And you don't have to do this. You could just finely chop it.
This actually kind of reminds me of the ingredients in a vegetable cream cheese that you'd get at a bagel store.
Yeah, it does. I love vegetable cream cheese.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't think when I made it the other day, I think I chopped this cabbage. I think I chopped it because, to be honest with you, even with that's the biggest hole setting there. It's probably maybe too fine. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we'll just take a little bit more here. Okay. I think that's plenty. I think that's more than you need. I measured them when I did the recipe the other day. I measured it. I don't know why I was being so precise, but it truly doesn't matter. All right, so I have a bowl, big bowl here. Let's just get everything in that we just chopped. It's actually half a cup of green onion, but again, don't worry. 3/4 cup of that beautiful, finely diced bell pepper. And then tuna. Tuna. Delis, they have the real big cans of tuna. They're huge, all right? Huge. Make sure you clean your tops of your cans. I already did that. Okay, and I'm just gonna show you because I'm not by the sink right now, so I just have another bowl right here. So you do this in the sink and then just carefully, because the can itself can like come up and cut you, but you need to squeeze all of this liquid out of here. Okay, a ton of it without cutting yourself. Now this isn't the best way to do it. There's other ways that you can squeeze even more. But basically, delis will squeeze so much, it will become a flake almost, super dry. One tool you can use as a home, doing this at home is one of these. Okay, you can take all your tuna now, put it in here, and then
And what tool is
press
that?
it down. This is a ricer. It's not meant for making tuna salad, but it works very, very well. All right, I'm gonna do this for the next 3 cans. Just get all the liquid, as much liquid as you can out of it. Here are the 3 pretty dry cans. You want it to come out like that without there being really any water in there. But do not worry if you get water in there. It's not the biggest deal because you can just drain it again the next day, which you're gonna have to do regardless of how much liquid you get out of there. All these vegetables are gonna wick water too. So you just drain it a little bit and then you remix it with a little bit of your healthy mayo or your Greek yogurt, which is what all delis do. Now the better way to do this is just to stick the tuna in an empty bowl and so you can flake it better, but I'll just do it against the side here. Or just use your hands. Just get some gloves and use your hands, which is again what they do. It's always mixed by hand. I have lots of fond memories working in the delis when I was young. And I say a kid, I was like, my first job I was 14. I was a dishwasher at a deli. They wouldn't let me work in the front because I don't think they were allowed to. But then the other ones, as I got a little bit older, like 15, 16, then I was like always asking questions. I wanted to learn how every salad was made. Wanted to work the grill, the fryer, all that stuff. And I did.
How many bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches do you think you made in your life?
Honestly, without not exaggerating, I would say probably 4,000 to 5,000. Because I worked for 4 years at these places.
Yeah.
And I would always want to be on the grill duty. The places I worked at, you get the egg and cheese orders, everybody take all the orders, and whoever took the orders, if they weren't making anything, that would be the person who would go to the grill.
Yeah.
And then if you liked it, you would stay back there. And then as more orders came in, you'd just be like, I'm back here now, But some people hated it. There were some people who never wanted to do that. To get a little hectic if there's 30 or 40 sandwiches.
Yeah.
It wasn't high-end stuff that I was making there. Okay, so this is 1 teaspoon of celery seed. And that's the 2 teaspoons of low sodium soy sauce because I'm trying to, be a little healthy here. But if you're feeling adventurous, use more soy sauce than that and you can use regular. So just mix this up and let it sit for about 10 minutes before you do your mix of your yogurt and mayo. This is looking fabulous. This is looking better than last time. Because I think I used more vegetables.
I was going to say, it looks heavier on the veg.
Looks good, right?
Yeah.
Tara's just asking me if I really made that many bacon, egg, and cheeses, but I think I did because when I worked there, which was 1993 to 98, I guess, bacon, egg, and cheeses were $1.50, $2, or less. And I remember the owner, they would always, everybody paid with cash for everything back then. He would just be pulling the money out of the register every hour.
Depending on where you go, I guess the cheapest place would be like $5, but I've spent $10 on a egg and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, it's everything is, they measure, you can measure inflation by a lot of ways. One of the most popular ways is to use the Big Mac, because a Big Mac is sold in all 50 states. So you can see the price change over the decades, but yeah, you could definitely go buy a bacon, egg, and cheese and, around here. All right, I'm putting in the half cup of each. Now listen, you can do this with a spoon, but it's better to do it this way. It just is. Somebody asked me the other day, because I kept calling bro gloves. He's like, where do you get the bro gloves from? I'm like, first of all, they're not called bro gloves, and I'm like, it's making fun of like the people on Instagram and TikTok. They're like young men. They like invest in crypto and they make barbecue all the time. Like they're just like, they're like a caricature. Like that's what I meant. Like bro gloves. They're the ones who use them. Okay.
The tech bros.
Yeah, tech bros. They're just bros. Like
Everyone.
I don't want to be labeled a bro. I don't want to be a bro.
Everyone's a bro. Our kids call us bro.
But anyway, to answer that guy's question, I don't know where I got them from. Probably Costco.
Those ones?
No.
You can't get those from Amazon?
Oh, you could definitely get them from Amazon. But I always I don't want to ever steer you towards Amazon because like this stuff is so, like, a good example is the cherry pepper recipes. We get them for $3 here. They're just $17 on Amazon. So it's like, no, I'm not, like if the price is in line, then I'll like post it and say it, So what I like about using the hands here is I can like really get this tuna to almost like that super flake consistency. You're probably thinking to yourself, why don't you start with light tuna, you dumbass? Like chunk light. Like you're right. I could have done that.
Isn't chunk light considered like inferior?
I heard that. Yep.
I feel like I grew up hearing that.
Yeah.
Like don't buy the chunk light.
Well, it's just like they say, don't buy the crushed tomatoes.
Yeah.
Now everybody buys crushed tomatoes.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's probably the same people saying the chunk light and the crushed tomatoes.
That's well mixed. Perfect. It's not going to be that good right now, but give it a taste anyway. You can season it with salt and pepper if you like. I didn't put any pepper in here. I gotta say, I love this one. I really do. If you're worried about black specks, use white pepper, but I gotta tell you, the black pepper and white pepper are not really interchangeable. White pepper just has a different taste. I am gonna put a little salt in here, regardless of the fact that tuna is salty.
And the soy sauce.
Yeah, it was not a lot of soy sauce. It was only 2 teaspoons. Here's the deal. I'm going to get this in the refrigerator for at least a couple hours before we bring down the taste tester. But ideally overnight, this super dry mass right here is going to be liquidy if you let it go to the next day. By the time you see him have it, it won't be that way. It's only going to be a couple hours. And then you just remix, okay? A little bit more Greek yogurt, a little bit more light mayo. All right. There we go. Thank you. Make sure you really cover that so you don't stink up your fridge. Okay, so it actually is the next day, and you can see how I look different. I wear different clothes. I could have worn the same clothes and said it was the next day too, but it really is the next day. And you can see it's the next day for a couple reasons. You see how dry this gets, okay? Okay, a lot of the mayo and the yogurt just absorbs in there, but there's also liquid now on the bottom of our bowl. Now, not that much. Like you can see it kind of scooping down there. So this one has a lot less than other ones that we've done. So I'd probably, because I just like really squeezed a lot of the water out, but like I'll show you, see like how it's coming here. So I'm just gonna just absorb it. Now in the other one, I used, like I showed, like a lot of delis will use crackers, they'll use bread, like just old, like just white bread. And they'll mix it in. They'll almost make like a panade of the bread for the tuna as well. So they save money by not having to use as much tuna. And nobody knows. But, I think people are asking now because so many people like want to eat gluten-free, which in the past you would think tuna would be like a gluten-free product, but it's not for the most part, the way delis make it. Now I'm talking about the regular New York style one. Okay, so I got most of the moisture out of there. For me, that's a little too dry. For you, that might be fine, especially if you're trying to be like really healthy here. But I'm just gonna mix in some more yogurt and some more mayo, just like a spoonful of each, not so much. And this is just 5%, yeah, 5% Fage yogurt. Okay, we'll start with like that much.
And this is what delis do the next day, right? They like add the mayonnaise
Always.
or whatever to kind of reconstitute it.
Yeah, they always do it. They'll like looking through the case, you know, bring them out. There's like they're not marking dates, and it'll often be just some guy or girl will be like, this one smells all right, and then they'll remix it with more mayo and stuff like that. I'm joking, but I'm not. You know, things haven't changed much. No matter how many times the health department comes into these places, you know, places run the place the way they want to run it. And a lot of these delis are old, you know, they're very old school places. They're not like corporate owned. They're not like franchises that everything has to be, you know, done a certain way. I'm not saying they're bad. Some places run a really great ship and they're like, everything is super fresh. The places I worked at, they were all good. Okay, now look at how smooth that looks here. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect, healthy, moderately healthy tuna. Night and day between yesterday, or day to next day. You know, just so much better. It's two things. It's that it's really cold now, like super cold, and that the flavors have come together. All right, let's make a nice sandwich for the taste tester. Okay, and I got 2 pieces of bread. We'll do a deli wrap for him. He'll prefer that. So I just have a piece of parchment paper here. That's, you know, they would just have regular wrap, but I'm just using what I have. And I got some nice bib lettuce. I like this type of lettuce. It's really good for sandwiches. You can just buy it, like comes in the container in a lot of stores. Good enough, Tara?
Looks delicious.
Yeah, not a hugely thick sandwich, but still good. You know, the reason you do a deli wrap is so everything comes together in it. So I'm gonna do two layers. The first layer, just like this, you know, just take your pieces, just pull, kind of just make it nice and tight. And then kind of like we're forcing everything together. Okay, so that's one. Then I just have thicker paper here. That's just butcher paper. I'm gonna cut this in half, okay? So just try to get your center point using a serrated knife. Okay, that looks good. It's like a nice size sandwich. All right, James, you need no introductions. You are the taste tester. I am going to, I've wrapped up a nice sandwich. I'm gonna give you just half of it. I don't think you need to eat all this right now.
This looks good. I really like this. I'm like not that hungry though, so I'm not gonna like eat a lot of it. But everything about it's really good.
I remixed right now with some more mayo and yogurt. I mean, what do you think of the vegetables? So it's very, very different than the other one with a ton of vegetables in it. Texture, do you like? Do you not like it?
It gives it more crunch, which I kind of do like. It's a regular tuna salad sandwich. Like the lettuce gives it some crunch. There's like celery and stuff in this, which makes it really good.
There's no celery in it actually. It's green onion. Yeah. You can put celery. I kind of omitted that one, but you know that I put celery in my regular New York deli tuna.
I don't know. This is very good. Like I just really like all the deli salads, and especially on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, just clean off the back.
So, yeah. Don't eat too much. You got to do another taste test right after this one.
I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Thank you.
I mean, there's not much to say about it, honestly.
Well, you did okay. You did the other one, and you didn't. That was, I don't know if you recall. It was a while ago. It was when we did a tuna melt, but I like left the tuna sitting for a while with the cheese, and I think you weren't too happy about it.
Yeah, maybe I don't think I liked it that much.
No, but that tuna in general, though. Forget about the tuna melt. Which one do you think? That tuna or this tuna?
This one.
This one, huh?
Yeah, I really like this one.
Good.
It's a lot better.
Good. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad we have a half.
This. Yeah.
Because I'm going to eat this one. All right, we'll take a 9.
Take this away from me before.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say here. You know, he was a man of few words today for this taste test.
There's not much to say. It's just tuna salad.
But we always appreciate your reviews, and I will take a 9 any day. Until next time, see you. See you. See ya. So yeah.
How was that?
I don't want to say see you. See.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.